There are moments in life when strength is not loud, when fear doesn't announce itself, when love is tested not by headlines, but by silence. For years, Al Roker has been a constant presence in American homes, a familiar voice greeting viewers each morning with warmth, humor, and reassurance. He became part of people's daily rhythm, someone who felt steady and reliable in an ever-changing world. But when Al's health challenges began to unfold, that sense of certainty was shaken. The public saw updates, they saw courage, they saw optimism. What they didn't fully see were the hidden fears carried quietly by the person closest to him, his wife, Deborah Roberts. Deborah is a seasoned journalist, someone trained to ask difficult questions and remain composed under pressure. Yet nothing prepares you for the emotional toll of watching the person you love face uncertainty. Behind her calm public demeanor, Deborah confronted fears that many spouses know all too well. The fear of not knowing what comes next, the fear of how fragile even the strongest lives can be. In private moments, away from cameras and headlines, Deborah has acknowledged that the hardest part wasn't the medical updates themselves. It was the waiting. Waiting for clarity, waiting for improvement, waiting for reassurance that tomorrow would look brighter than today. For viewers in their 60s, this resonates deeply. It reflects a stage of life where health becomes more than a topic. It becomes personal, where love is no longer just about shared dreams, but shared resilience. Deborah's experience mirrors what so many couples quietly endure as time introduces vulnerability into even the strongest partnerships. Deborah has spoken about the emotional balancing act she faced, remaining hopeful without ignoring reality. She had to be steady for her family while processing her own worry. She learned that fear doesn't always arrive dramatically. Sometimes it settles in slowly as exhaustion, as silence, as the weight of responsibility. There were moments when she questioned how much to reveal publicly. As a journalist, she understood the public's concern. As a wife, she wanted to protect her family's privacy. Navigating that space required grace, restraint, and an extraordinary amount of emotional strength. What makes Deborah's story so compelling is not that she presents herself as fearless, but that she admits fear existed. She acknowledges that loving someone deeply means opening yourself to uncertainty, that courage doesn't mean the absence of fear, but the decision to keep going despite it. As Al worked toward recovery, Deborah found herself reflecting on the life they had built together. Years of shared milestones, ordinary routines, and quiet moments suddenly felt more precious. Health scares have a way of sharpening perspective. They remind us that nothing, not success, not stability, not familiarity, is guaranteed. For many couples watching, Deborah's journey feels achingly familiar. It speaks to nights spent lying awake, listening for reassurance, to mornings that begin with hope and end with unanswered questions, to the quiet resolve required to show up every day when answers are incomplete. When Al eventually returned to the public eye, his resilience was celebrated, and rightly so. But Deborah's emotional endurance was woven into that moment as well. Her strength lived in every step forward, every regained smile, every return to normalcy that was no longer taken for granted. This story goes beyond celebrity. It's about partnership in its truest form, about standing beside someone not when life is easy, but when it becomes uncertain, about the invisible labor of love that rarely earns recognition, yet sustains everything. Deborah's honesty about her fears offers comfort to those who may feel alone in theirs. It reminds us that vulnerability is not weakness, it's a natural response to caring deeply, and that acknowledging fear can coexist with strength, grace, and resilience. Today, as Al continues forward, their story stands as a testament to enduring love, a reminder that behind every public recovery is a private journey, one marked by quiet courage, emotional honesty, and unwavering commitment. For those watching who have walked similar paths or may one day, Deborah Roberts' experience offers reassurance. It tells us that fear does not diminish love, it deepens it, and that even in the most uncertain seasons, steadfast partnership remains one of life's greatest sources of strength.